We were all told that the Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World was the most attended theme park in all of 2024. And although that still is true, digging into the numbers, something else is also staggeringly important to know. And that is that on an apples to apples comparison, day versus day, it turns out that Disneyland defeated the Magic Kingdom at Disney World for the first time in forever to a level you won't believe. We've got the numbers, we've got the data, we've got the receipts right now. Hello folks, it's a dandy of a day, and it's dandy because you chose to come our way. Can I just say you look dapper? Yes, you look very dapper indeed today. Just the kind of person we need for this video today. As we dive in, click the like button. We're to tell you why Disneyland is defeating Magic Kingdom and why perhaps Disney doesn't want investors knowing that could send shockwaves through the investor class. Let's talk about it. It's something nobody else knows about quite yet, but we are ready to bring it to you. From thatparkplace.com, Magic Kingdom attendance allegedly dropped on average from 2023 to 2024, contradicting headlines. We have went into great detail about this one, ladies and gentlemen. Magic Kingdom seems, on average, to have been less crowded in 2024 versus 2023, but that's not all it seems, because guess what? Looking at those same numbers from the Themed Entertainment Association and their report about 2024, we can now say that using that data, Disneyland did in fact beat Disney World's Magic Kingdom in 2024 average attendance, despite the headlines. We dug deep in this to find out what's really going on, and here it is, folks, exclusively for you. Magic Kingdom was recently declared the winner by the Themed Entertainment Association for attendance in 2024. But what if we told you the Walt Disney World Gateway theme park only won that race because Disney likely wanted to make sure it did so? And what if we told you that Disneyland theme park was more crowded with more ticket sales on a daily basis than Magic Kingdom? Turns out that when we looked at this, folks, that turned out to be true. How do we know that? Well, 2024, the Walt Disney Company gave Magic Kingdom 447 opportunities for you to pay for a ticket and get in there. How do they do that? How do they go above 365? By having 38 Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween parties, 25 Mickey's Very Merry Christmas parties, 18 Disney After Hours, as well as it being a leap year. That got us to 447 sessions. Disneyland, on the other hand, got no such thing. Disneyland had 8 nights of Sweethearts Night, 2 nights of Disney Channel Night, 8 Star Wars nights, and 2 Pride nights, meaning that Disneyland had only 386 times for you to be able to buy a ticket. That now appears to be the way that Disney World's Magic Kingdom became the #1 theme park for attendance, but on average, Disneyland utterly defeated Magic Kingdom, averaging, according to the numbers given to us by the TEA and then measured out according to the open sessions for both parks, Disneyland averaged 44,915, in other words, almost 45,000 guests every time that they opened those turnstiles, whereas the Magic Kingdom was down at 39,821. This is monumental. Nobody is reporting on this. According to these statistics, Disneyland outperformed Magic Kingdom apples to apples by 11.4%. Culture, this is huge because Disney and their shareholders are highly invested in the Magic Kingdom and Walt Disney World, the biggest asset they have being the leader. And there's a big PR push to make sure that happens. But when we got into the numbers deeply and when we measured this out and we did a lot of research into this, there is some speculation because TEA doesn't totally share out exactly how they do this, but it looks like that let's just say that there's some smoke and mirrors, and Disneyland actually has leapfrogged Disney World significantly. And this combats the narrative that we've been told that you can raise prices, you can reduce services, you can put up walls, and the people will still come calling. Culture, the real data shows that might not be the case at all, and perhaps Disney executives know it.
Yeah, I find that unsurprising. I mean, we all knew that they were double dipping on attendance, many times a year.
Allegedly. What does that mean, though, Culture? What does it mean that you think they're double dipping?
It's because of the parties and special events that they host. The special events where they can charge a separate entry ticket price on the same day as a main entry price. That's pretty phenomenally double dipping, and they've been doing that for a long time now, which artificially inflates their attendance numbers as well, because it's the same people, they're just paying twice. And it's not a new guest. It's not a unique viewer, as we would like to say in the social media world. It's a viewer that's willing to pay twice to have a full day at the park.
Well, now, sometimes sometimes it's a different crowd that shows up for the after hours parties. But you're exactly right.
Yeah.
There's going to be overlap. There's going to be quite a few people who paid to be there during the day, and then they pay to stay past 6 p.m. into these nighttime things. Now, the revenues, we're not arguing anything about revenues. We're arguing attendance. Yeah. And it looks to us that on average, Disneyland significantly outperformed Magic Kingdom. That's not supposed to happen. In fact, it's actually not even supposed to happen logically, because Magic Kingdom is much larger than Disneyland.
Indeed.
And yet it's happening, and they don't seem to want to talk about this.
I think they're terrified because it works against the narrative that you just described, that they're able to just, keep bilking people. And I think eventually even that's going to run out. I mean, people visiting the parks on the holidays, they may not go during the day now. They may just go to the special event, or vice versa. They won't go to the special event. And, this is something that used to be not terribly unreasonable as far as the price goes. But basically, you're paying a second entry now for any of these special events. And it's not just there. I mean, consider the fact that there are after our hours parties that are separate ticketed events for pass holders and other people who put a premium on being able to go to things and getting a special, opportunity to ride a given attraction. When you're going to open something like Flight of Passage, you have like 20 days where you can bring in pass holders and, D23 members and so on and so forth, and artificially increase attendance and revenue that way. This has been going on for a long time, and it's nice to be able to have a comparison to point to kind of knock this bologna sausage out of the park. And
ding the bell, Marvin. He said it. Ding the bell. Where's the bell at? Bologna sausage.
I didn't call anybody neo-Marxist. Come on now.
We'll give Ron the opportunity. Good, double ding. Hey, Ron, there were so many people out there who noticed that crowds had dropped at Magic Kingdom last year. Then the attendance numbers came out. They said, oh, it's up by 0.7. Must have been wrong. Or we must have. No, you were not. Ron, the way this was reported and the way that Disney did this was to increase significantly the number of ticketed events they offered at Magic Kingdom. And then I'm not saying that's a bad idea, but I'm simply saying if you compare Magic Kingdom now to Disneyland, Disneyland is destroying Disney World in average attendance. And that's a story that for some reason the House of Mouse wants to keep quiet. What are your thoughts, agreeing with Culture or disagreeing on the reasons he thinks that might be?
Well, no, I mean, I would agree with Culture, but what I'm wondering more is what happens. I mean, we're getting the numbers from 2024. There's a couple things that I'm wondering about this. I'm wondering how Universal counts things like Halloween Horror Nights. They have, they have different events as well.
As far as we can tell, Ron, those get counted exactly the same as all these after-hour events for Disney.
Okay, so what I'm wondering is how these numbers are affected when you compare the Disney World parks, specifically Florida, the Florida parks, to the Universal parks in Florida, not just 2024, and here's what's happening. I saw a lot of comparisons being made to when these T numbers came out, right? Where people are going, oh, I guess the Epic Universe didn't make a dent. And I'm going, we're not there yet. These are the 2024 numbers. And people were probably kind of staying away from Universal last year, waiting for Epic to open this year. So, yeah, I mean, like Disneyland realistically beat Disney World. But when it comes to what's going to happen in 2025, and that was 2024, 2025, I think we're looking at a whole new ballgame. And just given my experience today, as an example, I was assigned to get some photographs at two different parks. I got out there this morning close to 10 o'clock. I was able to, I walked into Epcot. I walked on Spaceship Earth. Right at the park opening, right? Like this is the time of the day that everybody is at the front of the park going to Spaceship Earth. And it was basically a walk on 5 minutes for me to get on that. And then I left there. I went over to the Magic Kingdom. I was able to jump on the People Mover and get what I needed there. all in and out within 2.5 hours. The travel time on the monorail was the longest period of time that I spent. And it's not like I had to wait for the monorail. It's just that the monorail is sitting there waiting for people to get on in the station, and there's still nobody's getting on. I mean, the cars that I rode on the monorail all day long had maybe 5 people, including myself, in the car, except for the exclusive one family from Scotland that was 9 people, but they were all one family from Scotland.
Now, the Hollywood Horror Nights, that's at Universal Studios proper, right? Not at...
Correct.
Okay, so that's why this makes sense to me that Universal Studios is at number 13 in the world, and Universal Islands of Adventure is at number 14, because otherwise, if it wasn't for the Horror Nights, there's no way in this world that Islands of Adventure doesn't just blow away Universal Studios proper. But Universal Studios proper is getting the Halloween Horror Nights counted in there. But you're exactly right that 2024 is a bad year to measure Universal because a lot of people were waiting for Epic to open. So the next year's tally for Universal is going to be more impressive. But Vash, I hear you in the background there. Vash, what do you think about the idea that when we ran these numbers and averaged them out, it turns out that Disneyland, apples to apples, is way more crowded and far in the number 1 spot above Magic Kingdom at Disney World?
Well, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. Disneyland has been nipping at Magic Kingdom's heels for the last 3 years now, ever since it reopened from the pandemic. And there are multiple reasons for this. Remember, you have to understand that at least pre-pandemic, and I think it's even worse now, that 75% of the annual attendance for Disneyland comes within 250 miles of that resort. And so you have a lot of repeat visitation. You have a lot of people that go there maybe once a week, once a month, sometimes even once a day in some extreme circumstances. And so that is going to pad out your attendance figures. So Walt Disney World has a lot of people that only go there maybe once a year, maybe every 5 years, maybe every 10 years, or maybe even once in a lifetime. And so that's where your per cap differences are. The problem with Disneyland overtaking Magic Kingdom, the biggest problem is that your per caps are going to be significantly lower because remember, those people are going back day after day after day. So, cumulatively, yeah, that adds up, but per day, per park, it's not anywhere close to what Magic Kingdom actually brings in. So
wait a minute, Vash. Wait a minute. I got a question for you. This is a big one.
Yep.
Do you believe that Disney would purposefully not give Disneyland as many after-hours events because it would pass Magic Kingdom in attendance, no problem? And if it did so, that would be an indictment on what they've been doing to the theme parks in Florida, which are their biggest, most important asset.
Yeah, I suppose it's possible, but the more important thing about those after-hours parties and why they aren't saturated in terms of the calendar like Magic Kingdom is because annual pass holders, they have to be convinced to spend more money because remember, they get access to the park all year, sometimes at $1,900 a pop. You have to convince them to buy in to an after hours party. That can be extremely difficult, and that's why Disney wanted to do like a Christmas party. They dropped it at Disneyland because of the low attendance right there, and even Oogie Boogie Bash has been hard to sell in recent years. So that's why you see that disparity. Before I hand it off to you, Culture, I just wanted to say on Universal numbers, we're actually working on a story on that right now. You gotta think too. Universal Studios Florida had 3 new kind of attractions that opened, 2 big entertainment offerings, that being Cine Sensational and the Mega Movie Parade, right? And then they also had the opening of DreamWorks Land. I think that's the bigger factor in determining like who won, who lost in 2024. But obviously people were waiting for Epic, and they tried to counter that with some counter programming. Go ahead, Culture.
Well, no, I was just going to add to that. I was like, per capita spending would go up substantially at Disneyland if they offered more opportunities and events of quality. And I think that would terrify the people in Florida because really the only place that can absorb the kind of price increases and the amount of money that's being required to go to a theme park for a visit is the state of California. It's the only place where, you have artificial wage inflation being enforced at a very aggressive rate that they could eat into some of these massive criminal pricing strategies that Disney has right now. And you would see Disneyland just wipe the floor with Florida if you had all those different types of special events. And you don't even have to keep them just in Disneyland. You just put them in DCA as well. I mean, why are there not the festivals, in California that Epcot exploits 3 or 4 times a year now, like the what do you call it, the Winter Bologna Sausage Art Fest of terribleness, and food and wine, and then what's the other one? There's like 3 or 4 of those in there that, like, I'm always like, wow, you guys are really greedy.
They can't do Flower and Garden because they don't have enough backstage facilities in order to grow those flowers and gardens like Epcot does.
Yeah, they do. They emptied out downtown Disney. There were like 4 or 5 venues that were basically emptied out there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's true, but you do have like Food and Wine Festival at California Adventure. You do have a couple of offerings, but it's never been as robust as maybe Epcot. But like, exactly. Yeah, I mean, they could. It's just you have to convince people to spend more money than the.
I'm telling you guys, if the report came out and said that Disneyland had overtaken Disney World in attendance, it would send shockwaves through the investors. Investors would,
next year.
Investors, well, but maybe Disney will get together and say, you know what, we're going to cut some of these after-hours parties for Disneyland in order to make sure that doesn't happen, because it can't happen because it'll send shockwaves to the investing community.
It's going to happen. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. I think I'm looking at the numbers, and I don't see how they get out of that. And they just expanded the different assortment of what is it, after hours parties at Disneyland and California Adventure. So I mean, it obviously comes down to how you count this, but I mean, we've been within 500,000 every single year for the past couple of years now. I think this is it.
I like how you say we.
That's right. He's Team Disneyland. Hey, Marvin, let's give you the final word on this. Your thoughts on it and what it means for the company if Disneyland comes back and beats Disney World.
Oh, I mean, it's a complete paradigm shift, right? I mean, for so long, the Magic Kingdom has been, the premier park for the Walt Disney Company. If Disneyland suddenly takes it, now Disneyland, not really a hot, big tourist destination, mostly locals coming in. So, they want to prove, because Disney doesn't love the annual pass holder crowd. We all know this, and that's most of what is going to Disneyland. So that's a huge paradigm shift for them to be able to go back to their investors and suddenly be like, yeah, well, people aren't exactly paying for admission. They're just paying for annual passes, which we take a loss on. So that's going to be really, really interesting. I think the thing that does give them the edge is Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. And if Disneyland is able to beat the Magic Kingdom without a Christmas party, that is saying a lot about how much things have plummeted at the Magic Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom could take the lead with the Dreamlights coming back, but they'll never do it because it costs money. Can't have that. All right, folks, that's where we'll leave it for right now. Vash, thank you for hopping in to weigh in and let us know your thoughts on this one. Jonas, you've been awful quiet. You must be on Team Disneyland along with Vash down there.
Oh, well, I'm trying not to shatter Vash's teeny tiny little bubble in comparison to Cinderella Castle out there.
How many rides per park, Jonas?
Is it number of rides or is it quality of the park itself?
Oh, no.
Can I have a hug? Give me a hug.
No way.
Come here.
I'm not coming over there.
Let's go.
Forget it.
Pronto.
Well, folks, we've come to the end of another video of pure excellence and fun. Explaining entertainment, keeping you ahead of the culture curve. That's what we hope you believe we've just done. And why should you believe it? Well, because we've done our very best to make it so. To be true, to be factual, and to do what the mainstream, so-called access journalists simply won't. Folks, you can help share this out across the fruited plains of YouTube by clicking the like button. Share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And folks, as we get ready to say sayonara for now, we ask that you keep learning, keep growing, and wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep having fun.
Jump into the water.
Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun.
So I give them cannonball. Yeah!
Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio.
Arizona,
What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.